So, my name is David Kossowsky. I work in Toronto at St. Michael's Hospital on a project called Biodiaspora. Our work revolves around understanding and predicting the spread of infectious diseases through air transportation. So tonight I'm going to talk about one part of my work, which is creating maps and visualizations to improve our understanding of the spread of disease. There are 5 key factors that I think are important to take into consideration when visualizing and assessing the potential spread of disease: type, space, time, travel patterns, and connectivity. First, type and space. We need to know what kind of disease we're dealing with and how it is spread, and geographically, where is the disease found, and what are the conditions of the land. Environmental, population, and developmental conditions can all affect if a disease can survive or be carried over to another part of the world. Climatic conditions can play a huge role in the spread of disease. Various disease types can spread more rapidly in certain climates and altitudes, and others just won't spread at all. Malaria is a great example of this. This illness spreads easily around the equator, but if it were to be imported, for example, into Russia or Australia, there's almost no chance that the disease will spread to other people, as the climate can't support the mosquitoes that carry the virus. But it's not just climatic conditions that we're interested in, it's also human conditions. It's easy to see that people are moving to more urbanized areas. There's a much greater chance of spreading disease in denser and more connected regions of the world. Just look at Egypt, and you can instantly see where people are congregating and living around the Nile River. And healthcare and education and water systems can also play a large role in the spread of disease. This image shows the amount of healthcare expenditure on each person around the Middle East. And you can easily see there just which country spends more per person around there. And it's not just where people are living that we're concerned about, but it's also where animals and humans are mixing. Just look at how many chickens are living in China. So what we need to do is take this information and start to combine it with all our other factors. So the next factor is travel patterns. In order to understand what could happen in present day or in the future, we need to understand what has happened in the past. People congregating in relatively small areas for mass gatherings can create a huge threat for disease spread. Disease can spread rapidly at the event if precautionary measures aren't put into place. We need to know passenger flows of where people are coming from and where they're going to during these mass gathering events. Thankfully, most humans are creatures of habit, and we can quite accurately predict and understand how many people will be flying at different times of the year. Even when something out of the ordinary occurs, amazingly, travel patterns restore themselves very quickly and return back to their normal flows. You can see here in Toronto during September 11th how passenger flows decreased dramatically and then restored themselves within a matter of weeks. And it's not just human-caused problems that result in these patterns, but also environmental issues. A great decline is always seen, and then a return to normal and a steady increase continues. You can see this as well with Hurricane Katrina and with an attempted hijacking in Melbourne. So if we look at finally, time and connectivity, which is the most important variable to take into consideration, I believe, and the hardest to visualize in static form. How connected is a city to the rest of the world, and how long does it take for the disease to spread from one person to another? If we were to look at airports and transit hubs near an outbreak, we can get an understanding of how connected the area is to the rest of the world. A severe outbreak in Frankfurt, for example, which is a huge transit hub city, can have much larger global implications than an outbreak in northern Canada. Some of you may have seen the movie Contagion. Well, in this mock scenario out of Hong Kong that we created, under the right conditions and in a highly connected city, the story is entirely possible and can become a reality if the right measures are not put into place to prevent further damage. We are more connected today than in any other period of time, with over 37,000 separate flight routes being used today. We truly are a globalized world. So imagine if there's a highly infectious disease right here, right now, and I decided to see how far I could get if I left Minneapolis and flew on anything less than a 12-hour flight. It's amazing to see just how far people can get today in such a short period of time. Leaving Minneapolis during the month of June allows me to get to all of these cities, but what stands out to me the most are these 5 cities that I've highlighted, as they're the top destination airports from Minneapolis. Because if I were to fly out of those top cities to make a connection, just look at how connected I suddenly become. And if I had a highly infectious disease, look at all the places that I have the opportunity to get to, and think of all the people who I may come in contact with at airports along the way. So with the London Olympics around the corner, we've combined all of these factors to create a visual that forecasts just what can occur in the upcoming games. If you're interested to find out more about what we do, please feel free to speak to me over the next few days. Thank you.